What's cracking, guys? Matric here. Today's episode we will be diving into my cluster. What I want to do is get rid of the factory lights and change them to a little bit more of an aggressive look, so I'll be going with a red LED. It's nice and easy, anyone can do it. So what we'll do is we'll swing around, strip out this interior and get cracking. Alright, there we have it, guys. Nice and easy. I make it look a lot easier than it is. I've pulled out a few in my time, so I sort of know where all the clips and all the tricks are. So we'll head on inside out of this heat, and I'll rip into showing you what the different types of lights are and what I'm going with. Right, guys, I'll show you how easy it is. Just flip him over. On the back of these, now there's only 4. Different cars are going to be different styles and different amounts. There's a lot of little ones on here, but if you hold it up to the light, you can actually see that that one there that I just took out is actually an indicator. So we don't need to take those ones out. You could, they're a lot smaller too, they're not a standard wedge bulb style. You can take them out, replace them with white ones to make it brighter. Not the style that I'm going for with this type of build, so I'll leave them standard the way they are. As you can see, these ones are just standard wedge bulbs, and what I'm replacing them with isn't the newest. So these ones I got a whole heap, probably around 2016 or so. So as you can see, they're the crown style ones. There's multiple LEDs on it. They've gone to like single or like little tower ones now. They're a lot brighter than these guys are, but again, I kind of want to keep it not in your face. I want to just make it like a nice subtle red. So they just go in like that, nice and simple, and clip them in. So I'll just go through and I'll remove the rest of them. Good save, and I'll fit them up. With these sockets, now the guy before me had blue and I think a green in there, so I've already been through and done all these. But if you just get yourself like a little pick seal or a little flat blade screwdriver, on the inside of those sockets you've got your little terminals. Just make sure they're not pried apart too much. You just want to close the gap on them a little bit. Make sure there's no damage in there, obviously. But it just allows it to hold onto the bulb a lot better. It'll stop any flickering that you might get through the bulbs too. I'll just like quickly put them through. It's a nice and simple mod, this one. There's no real effort required. It's just knowing how to pull your dash apart to actually get to the cluster. There is some where they're like a sealed type of unit, so there's a little bit more involved where you actually have to pull off like the back cover and stuff. A lot of them are just like push tabs, like the front of these ones are just little push. They just push and clip it out. So you like that. That took me all of 2 seconds. It's nearly already off, so it just goes in. It'll be the same for the back, and that'll allow you to actually get to your bulbs and that in the back of them. So now that we've got that on, another little hint and tip. As you can see, the copper ring on the back of this one has started to get a little bit of wear in it. You can just clean it up a little bit, but what I'll do is when I put the socket back in, I'll just make sure that where the brass is going to swing around and end up won't be on those 2 wear marks, so it'll be on the fresh stuff. And it's as simple as that. So that one's done, it's ready to go back in the car. We'll put it aside and we'll get the climate control unit pulled apart. So yeah, we'll rip into this one now. A little bit more involved, screws, clips, and once we get inside there's going to be a couple of boards that we need to take out of the way. So I'll throw it through a little time lapse and get it pulled apart, and we'll pick it up from there. So there we have it, guys. All pulled apart. As you can see the bulbs. While I've got this apart, I'm going to have a quick look at all the soldering joints in it, make sure that there's no damage that I can see there, or any repairs I need to make while I'm in here. So I'll just have a quick look at that, and we'll... Alright, so I'm actually pulling these ones out. They're already been upgraded, so what it means is that they've got little pins in them. I was hoping they're going to be the bulbs, but they're LEDs, so it's going to be a matter of trial and error with this one. Usually with the bulbs, what you can do, and I'll still do the same thing with this, just go down to your little hobby shop, so whether it's Toy World or a little model shop. Tamiya does them. What it is it's an actual red tint. We're doing the tail lights and that in those cars. So what I'll do is I'll actually paint a coating on the bulb, but as these guys are already LEDs, I know they were a whitey green, so we'll see what the red does to them. It might be something that I have to change down the track, so I'll get to painting them and we'll throw them back in once they're dry. Up and then we'll come back and have a look. Oh yeah, back after a short little break. Actually had to turn the camera off. It started beeping at me saying it was too hot. It's about 5:30 up in Queensland at the moment, and it is still about 35 degrees, so I can understand the poor thing's problem. It did help me in getting those painted nice and quick though, so that's one benefit. As you can see, if you know, you will be able to work out what I'm showing you, but all my soldering joints are pretty good. I couldn't come across anything that needs repairing at this point in time, so that's good to know, because that is one problem that you might come across with these old cars. Make sure you get them in the right direction. Just whacking back together. Nice and quick. It'll be quicker going together than coming out. Just a handy hint for anyone that's pulling anything apart. When you do, either get yourself a little container and separate your bolts, or just put them in different locations like I have sort of here. At least then you know which ones went where. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Alright, there we have it, guys. All back together. A little bit more involved than the actual cluster itself, but nevertheless nice and easy. So we'll get this all back together, throw it in the car and go from there. Back again. As for the gauge cluster that I have, it's a pretty simple one. It's just, I've already wired it up. Well, what I have is just a separate wire here that I just need to patch in. I'll just use a little connector at the moment, that'll get me out of mischief. It's just so that when I flick the lights on, so what I'll actually do, it's already wired up in the car for the lighting of this one, but it just wires into the cigarette lighter light, and so when I actually flick the lights on to bring the cluster lights on and my park lights and stuff like that, it'll change it from white face to a red face on these guys. And it was just that one wire, so it's nice and easy. It's done, it's ready to go back into the car. Quickly grab you guys. Well, what I will do before we go any further, which I probably should have done before I put it all back together, but I'll just turn the lights on and I'll actually see if my gauges go red instead of being white all the time. And there we have it. They're nice and red. Right, all back together, guys. So what I'll do now is I'll pass you back to previous and future Matt, and he'll give you a little before and after look at what I had. There we go. Nice easy mod that can be done in a weekend again. So a lot of the stuff that I'll try to do at the start of this channel is just quick one days that anyone can do. I will be doing a lot of interior stuff at the start here, so I'll work my way through from a full interior detail. I want to go through and re-trim everything, make it a lot quieter in here. And I will work my way through front to back, and I'll end up around that, fitting a rear cage and a couple other little goodies. So if you like what you see, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and whack that subscribe button. I'll catch us all later.